Houston, we might have a problem. Right now I'm filming on the relatively new DJI Osmo 360 camera, and so far I'm loving it. But, here's the but, I've seen a number of videos online by different content creators who have described two major deal breakers for this camera, and I'm here to address these two issues on this video. The first one is kind of not that important to me, but it's important to a lot of people. That is, the DJI Osmo 360 does not have user replaceable lenses. Now, to be fair, until Insta360 released the X5, this was never an option. No camera in the past in this genre, action cameras which shoot 360 video, there were no cameras in the past that allowed the users to replace the lens without having to send it back to the shop. I can certainly see the benefits. Like, if you have to send it back, not only do you have to pay, you're going to be without your camera, and given a place like Australia, I know they're trying to expedite everything to make it feel like a smoother, more seamless experience. I would assume that even if, at the best case scenario, to ship the camera back to DJI, to get it fixed, to have it sent back a week, if not longer, basically what that means is you're without your camera for a week. Yes, there's going to be a cost, but you can't consider that because there's a cost if you can replace it at home anyway. So a week without your camera, everyone's spewing about this. And I can understand the frustration that it would be to be without your camera for a week. This, like I said, would never have been an issue until Insta360 came up with the X5, because none of the other cameras were ever given the option of having user replaceable lenses. So we've been spoiled. We know that there's another camera in this genre which is roughly the same price, which you know you can replace the lens yourself at home. Now the thing about it is, yes, it's going to cost money to buy the replaceable lens, but the thing is you don't have to send it away. You can do it at home. So once you get the lens, you can replace it instantaneously. It takes 5 minutes and you're back and you're ready to go. And that is the problem. We have been spoiled with this. In the way I can get it, because we now have the convenience as an option, but in the past, whether it was a DSLR, a mirrorless camera, a compact, your iPhone, if you smash the lens, you're done. You have to send it back to the shop to get it fixed. There was no option unless you buy a new camera or a new device, which most people wouldn't. So I can understand that we have now been given this lifeline, this option to do it ourselves at home, and we feel spoiled. And because DJI chose not to offer this option, we're bummed out, we're annoyed. The thing is, action cameras are meant to be used in action. They're used outdoors where it's dirty, dusty, rainy, wet. And there's a higher chance with an action camera that you're going to drop it or you're going to bump it against something. And the problem is with 360 cameras, you've got these massive goldfish eyeball fisheye lenses like this, and they're prone to damage because they're poking out. DJI does give you this little lens protector thing, which, assuming you've got it on, and assuming there's no crap in there and you're not scratching the lens with this on it, it will protect the lens when you're not using it. But when you're using it, all bets are off. You just got to be careful. And I'm someone who's always been careful with my equipment anyway. And I would try my hardest not to put myself in a position where I would damage the lens because it's going to smash on something. But accidents do happen. If it was to break one of these lenses on this camera, I would have no choice but to send it back to DJI and suffer the 1 or however many weeks wait to get it repaired and have it sent back. And that's the reality of life. There's nothing I can do about it. The thing about this non-user replaceable lens is it's not a software thing. No firmware upgrade, no software upgrade is going to fix this. This camera, physically constructed in a way that users can't replace the lens. That's it. Bottom line, if you're not happy with the fact that you can't replace this lens, and if you think you're going to use it in a situation where you're at high risk of breaking a lens, or if you just feel like you're a clumsy dude and you don't think you can look after this camera and the lens, this is not the camera for you, period. End of story, the end. Now, to part 2 of this video, and this is the one that interests me and perhaps stresses me out a lot more than the non-user replaceable lens, and that is a lot of people have been reporting an issue with the audio syncing between the microphone and the video in this camera. I have had one experience where I paired this with a Bluetooth microphone and I had that issue. I haven't been able to reproduce it so far since then, touch wood, but there have been a lot of creators who have posted videos and they've done no editing and they've shown how badly the audio is synced, and that worries me. Right now, I'm recording this using the built-in internal microphone on the DJI Osmo 360, and hopefully there's no issue with the audio syncing. A lot of people will be using this or the equivalent. This is the DJI Mic 2, but a lot of people will be either using this or the DJI Mic Mini, and once I turn this on, I'm recording audio using this mic and not the built-in internal mic. If there's an issue with the audio syncing, this is going to be a big drama, and this could in fact be a complete deal breaker for this camera. I've had, like I said, one bad experience, but I haven't reproduced it yet. I will look at this in post and figure out whether this is an issue for me right now. There has been an update to the firmware for this camera since I last made the other video, which said I had one issue with the syncing. I don't know whether the videos that I've seen on YouTube involve the user using the new firmware update or using the previous firmware, but I'm hoping that if there was indeed an audio sync issue, that it's been rectified. Because you know what? There's already an extra step using 360 cameras in the fact that you have to go through the DJI or the Insta360 suite to get the 360 video down to something that you can edit in DaVinci Resolve anyway. But if you have to spend time syncing audio, done, that's it, game over. See you later. DJI needs to fix this, otherwise no one's ever going to buy this camera. I am going to obviously edit this in my DJI suite and then go to DaVinci Resolve. I'm not going to do any editing in terms of the audio video syncing, and I just wanted to see if there's any delay, any issues with the audio, because I'll be very sad. I must admit I'll be very disappointed if there was, because this would be a deal breaker in the sense that I wouldn't be able to use an external mic for this camera, which would be a super bummer, because I plan to do a lot of in-car vlogs where the ambient noise is going to be really annoying, and I would like to use an external mic. And there will be times where it's just a noisy environment, or whether I'm standing really far away from the camera and I want good audio. And the internal mic would not be able to deliver that under those circumstances, and I need to use an external Bluetooth mic. And if I can't, if I have to mess around with audio syncing, which you can do, because obviously that's what they do in motion pictures and TV and stuff. But if you have to do that for every video, I'm out. And I'm sure that a lot of other users will be out as well. So just to conclude this video, there have been two major problems reported with this camera. One is something that I care less about, and that is the non-user replaceable lenses. I've already gone through the reasons why I don't care so much, because I'm just trying my hardest to look after this camera. But number two is the audio. I'm back using the internal mic for the rest of this video, which I feel like is the more safer way to ensure that the video and the audio are synced. Could be wrong, but I will have gone through using that part of the video where I use the DJI Mic 2, and without having done any audio syncing in post, I'm going to check out whether there's any noticeable delay, because if that is, that's going to be a huge problem that DJI needs to fix immediately. Otherwise, this camera is literally a bust. So hit me in the comments below. Let me know whether you've had any issues with audio syncing with your camera, with an external or the internal mic. And also let me know whether you think that the inability to replace these lenses yourself is a big deal to you. Because I know that it's a big deal to a lot of people. I just don't get it, because I feel like before the X5, none of this would be a consideration, purely because no one else offered this service. And it was just a luxury, I guess, that Insta360 was able to, or is able to offer this. And people are getting spoiled, and people expect DJI to have delivered the same thing. But if you're not happy with that, if you are insistent you need a user replaceable lens, and if you're super concerned about the audio syncing, maybe you're better off getting the X5. But I see a lot of advantages with this DJI Osmo 360, and so far I love it. I love the form factor, and I like the fact that it has a good sensor, and everything else so far I've really enjoyed with it. Anyway, we'll see. In due course, we'll see what happens when I edit this video. But thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week in another video. Have a great weekend. Bye.